In the market for your next cosy game but don't know where to start? Never fear, Chili Armadillo's here to help. I've scored the Steam database and found 29 amazing upcoming games for you. Everything from city builders and farming sims to whimsical narrative adventures and simulators both realistic and wacky. In the Abbess Garden, due out on PC on the 2nd of March, you play Agnes, a young peasant girl tasked with tending the personal garden of the Abbess. This once majestic garden has become overgrown with weeds, and it's your job to uncover the beauty of the past. This is a farming sim of sorts, but without the usual rigidity of that format, as you grow plants at your own pace in a natural freeform space. You'll also gather flowers, leaves and seeds to study, find hidden objects as you continue to develop the garden, and you might even uncover a spy plot and find love. From a beautiful garden to something quite different, DrainSim is due to release on PC on the 3rd of March, and is a relaxing first-person game in which you'll use your knowledge, skills and a variety of tools to restore order to the city's drainage system. This game should appeal to fans of games like Power Wash Simulator and House Flipper, and looks every bit as cosy and immersive as those classics. With a day and night cycle plus realistic water physics, whatever they are, DrainSim promises to challenge both casual players and obsessive fans. Humanica is a gorgeous looking city builder game set in the year 10,000 BC and due to launch in early access on the 3rd of March. At first, your only aim will be survival, but to progress you must build, gather, craft, farm, breed animals and smelt metals to unlock branches of a huge technology tree. As you progress from the Paleolithic towards the Iron Age, your settlement will grow and become more advanced. You'll also need to defend against wild animals and nomads, which all adds to the challenge. Incredibly, Humanica is made by just one person, and it looks awesome, so I'm really keen to try this one out. It'll be on PC only, at least at first. Pizza Slice is due for launch on the 4th of March and will be available on PC, PS5 and Xbox. This is a pizza restaurant simulator, which follows that cosy game trope of inheriting a business you know nothing about from a well-meaning elderly relative. In this case, you'll be managing the family pizzeria, and that means shopping for ingredients, prepping and baking yummy pizzas, cleaning the restaurant and keeping everyone happy. That means customers, of course, but also mysterious food critics. It looks like you'll also have the option to play Pizza Slice with a friend, presumably in co-op mode, but I'll be interested to see how that works when it launches. Movie Room's Cinema Management launches in early access on PC on the 4th of March and looks really cool. This tycoon management game lets you run your own cinema, from the early days of the silver screen up to the present day. There's all the stuff you'd expect, like having to choose which movies to show, create projection rooms and other facilities, and build up your team of theatre staff, as well as decorating your cinema, advertising, and focusing on customer service. But there's a twist. Actors and directors from across the history of film have got all mixed up and ended up in the wrong eras. Can you persuade them to go back where they belong? There's also a sandbox mode if you want to get really creative. Creepy Shift Uncle Joe's Motel is one of those games that don't look cosy at first, but definitely include cosy elements. It's actually described on Steam as a blend of cosy simulation, horror and psychological depth, wrapped in a dark, noir-tinged atmosphere. In this game, you play the part of an unknown actress who takes a job at Uncle Joe's Motel and possibly gets more than she bargained for. Art room service cleaning sim, part first-person immersive story with puzzle solving and survival elements. Creepy Shift Uncle Joe's Motel looks like a good bet for those of us who enjoy the dark side of cosy gaming. It's due to release on the 4th of March, on PC only at first, although I'd expect it eventually to be available for PlayStation and Xbox, as for other titles in the Creepy Shift franchise. Exelio, if I'm pronouncing that right, launching in early access for PC on the 4th of March, is a single-player survival adventure with crafting and base-building elements set on the mysterious planet of the same name. In this game, you'll uncover the mysteries surrounding two different main characters as you explore various landscapes such as mountains, jungles, snowfields, caves and ruins. There's a certain amount of combat involved too, involving wild animals as well as enemies you'll encounter at night, but overall I'd say this one looks pretty cosy regardless. Mistpaw Ravine, due out on PC on the 4th of March, is a city builder with a difference and looks absolutely adorable. It's set in a magical land where the witches have long gone, leaving behind a mist-shrouded wilderness, and it's up to their former familiars to rebuild. Yep, you heard right. In this game you'll reshape the land, manage resources, research new buildings and territories, and basically build a city populated entirely by the cutest cats you've ever seen. And don't worry, although your cats may get cross with you if you let them run out of food, they won't die. Mistpaw Ravine's another game I couldn't resist downloading the demo for, and again I'll drop a link to that gameplay video in the comments. If it's a chill cosy game along the lines of Unpacked or A Little to the Left that you're after, then look no farther than Packing Life, coming to PC on the 6th of March. In this super relaxing game, you'll step into the shoes of a warehouse worker with a knack for turning chaotic orders into perfectly packed parcels. You'll need to rotate, position and fit objects just right, to make every box look perfect. But packing life isn't just a series of oddly satisfying puzzles and dopamine hits. There's a heartfelt storyline too, which lets you customise your workspace and uncover meaningful moments as you play. Play this one to replicate the feeling of lightness and clarity that you get from clearing out your stock drawer in real life. Barda, due out in early access on PC on the 9th of March, is a cross between a deck builder and an inventory management game. The aim of this one is to climb as high as you can up a tricky randomised mountain, using items that you've looted along the way to help you, so that you can scatter your grandfather's ashes at the top. Barda is definitely a game in which keeping your backpack tidy could make all the difference between life and death, so it pays to be organised. And that's easier said than done, because hunger, fatigue and madness can all affect your backpack's contents in different ways. Another cosy game coming out in early access for PC on the 9th of March is Library Simulator. And yes, this is one of those games that does exactly what it says on the tin. Now, I used to work in a bookshop back in the day, so I have to say this one really appeals to me personally. Naturally, the aim is to build your own library from scratch and keep it running smoothly as you expand its membership. You'll be able to place shelving and other furniture, stock the library with whichever books you choose, register new members and learn their needs and preferences. There's loads of creative freedom and you can make your library exactly the way you want it. Ranger's Path National Park Simulator is a cosy but deep simulator in which you step into the boots of a park ranger in the stunning fictional Fairmont National Park. You'll begin your day by tending to trails, clearing fallen trees, fixing signs, picking up litter and helping lost hikers. After that, you can jump into your ranger pickup and roam winding roads, photograph majestic eagles, curious raccoons or elusive wolves, blending chill exploration with meaningful tasks as you check permits, guide campers and manage emergencies. Ranger's Path National Park Simulator promises to be a virtual breath of fresh air when it launches on PC on the 10th of March. DreamWorld, the infinite sandbox MMO, also supposedly launching on PC on the 10th of March, is basically a massive shared world where every player is on the same server at the same time. Sounds chaotic but fun, right? You'll be able to explore different biomes, gather resources, craft gear, battle bosses, build pretty much whatever you like, farm and even create 3D objects using the Dreamforge tool. DreamWorld has taken its time getting here and it looks like it'll still be very much a work in progress on release, if it does release on the planned date, that is. There are lots of people out there who don't believe it will, but I'm intrigued to see what kind of reception it gets if it does materialise. Bubblegum Galaxy, due out on PC on the 12th of March, is an adorable and deceptively deep narrative building game in which the entire galaxy has been erased and it's your job to fix it. With the help of your in-game computer, you'll start placing hex tiles to design new planets, but be careful. Some of the planets are quite fussy and have their own preferences, be that rivers here, trees there, or particular colour combinations. It's a bit like super chill space Tetris. In between saving the galaxy, you get to wander around the office, getting to know your quirky co-workers and unlocking story snippets. You might even be able to find out how the galaxy ended up getting deleted in the first place. Ever wondered what it would be like to run a supermarket in space? Me neither. Until now, that is. In Space Supermarket Simulator, you're not simply stacking shelves, you're doing it while aliens zoom past the windows. You'll be juggling all the classic supermarket worker duties, stocking shelves, setting prices, and taking payment in funky galactic credits, but with an extra cosmic twist. Your customers arrive on starships rather than SUVs, and your stock arrives by drone. Beyond the cute and frankly weird theme, however, there's a serious strategy game lurking beneath the surface. It's essential to keep the shelves filled, price your goods optimally, and work towards expanding your store tier by tier. Space Supermarket Simulator comes out on PC on the 12th of March. Mining Merchant launches on PC on the 13th of March and is perfect if you, like me, play games like World of Warcraft and get totally distracted by all the collecting and crafting instead of doing what you're supposed to do. In this cosy indie sim, you'll go from broke miner to jewellery tycoon. You start off in your uncle's rundown jewellery shop and, yep, you guessed it, it's your job to save it from being the sad place that only dust calls home. By day, you'll head underground in your trusty mech to dig up shiny ores, rare gemstones and hidden treasures. By night, you'll be busy in the forge, smelting, crafting and setting those precious stones into jewellery to sell to your customers. With a bit of strategy thrown in too, Mining Merchant is the mining sim jewellery shop mashup that I never knew I needed. Oh, and you can play it in co-op mode with a friend too. Altiros, due out on PC on the 15th of March, is an online sandbox adventure where the sky isn't the limit, it's just the beginning. This game drops you into a world of floating islands, cute creatures and chilled creative chaos as you build, explore and even demolish terrain to your heart's content. Picture a mashup of base building and third-person exploration with MMO vibes, with the difference being that the battlefield is made up of fluffy clouds, colourful landscapes and your own imagination. Altiros looks a bit like playing Minecraft on peaceful mode, except that you can use tiny blocks to add detail to your build and really reflect your own personality. You can get creative by yourself or invite your friends along and reshape the world together. Greenfield Valley is a cosy new farming sim in which stress is replaced by a fresh mountain breeze. It comes out in early access on PC on the 16th of March. This game, unlike some of the other farming sims we know and love, has no timers and no pressure, which can make for a nice change of pace and some super relaxing escapism when life's not treating you too kindly. As you'd expect, you plant and harvest crops, raise animals like chickens, cows, sheep and horses, and yes, there's a fishing minigame included. Of course, you can also gather resources, upgrade your tools and learn to cook. Gentle quests and dynamic weather add a bit of extra interest, and the warm sunsets and mellow music certainly add to the cosy vibes. Imagine a game in which you set out to be the next legendary adventurer, get bitten by a snake and, die. Well, that's exactly what happens at the start of this next game. Skeleseller, launching on PC on the 17th of March, is a laid-back fantasy semi-idle game in which you play a skeleton shopkeeper who hires brave adventurers and sends them into battle on his behalf before selling the loot they return with. You get to pick the adventuring parties and choose their skills, then sit back and watch the gold roll in. I'm not usually a big fan of idle games, but this one seems like it might just have enough player input and cosy vibes to be a decent trash TV companion. There are a few Sandbox type games in this month's list, and Creature Creation Centre is another example. In this one, however, you get to play God in the best possible way, designing your own animals, monsters, pets, or whatever bizarre creatures your twisted mind can come up with. There are sliders for body shapes, colours, facial features and more, so every tweak changes personality and vibe right before your eyes. Make your creature as realistic or as silly as you like, then pop it into the sandbox and watch it run around like it owns the place. You can save your creations, name them, and even share them with friends. Creature Creation Centre, that's really hard to say, is due to launch on PC on the 17th of March. Veilwood, out on PC on the 20th of March, is a farming sim with a creepy difference. In this dark but cosy game, you'll tend crops by day and fend off mist-crazed critters by night while trying to uncover the mysteries of the azure haze that slowly warped the town. Cultivate more than 20 unique crops, bond with quirky pets, catch bugs and decorate your estate while keeping an eye out for bizarre creatures that threaten both you and your harvest. With exploration, puzzle solving in forgotten catacombs and survival battles with only your garden tools and a few bullets to help you, this one's part cosy farm sim and part spooky action adventure. Veilwood also lets you choose between cosy playthroughs and challenging survival mode, so there's something for everyone. I actually got an email yesterday saying that the demo for this game was out, so I think I'm going to download that soon, and if I do, I will post a gameplay video. I enjoy a good city builder game, and Nova Roma, set for release on the 26th of March, certainly looks like one of those. Set during the decline of the Roman Empire, this game has you leading a small band of citizens hoping to build Nova Roma, or New Rome, a bustling city encapsulating all that was once great about the now crumbling empire. You'll start from a small village and reshape the land, controlling the flow of water with dams and aqueducts, introducing entertainment for your citizens in the forms of theatres and gladiatorial shows, and build grand temples to appease the gods. I've been fascinated by Roman buildings and culture ever since doing classical studies at school, so I'm really looking forward to playing Nova Roma when it comes out. Opus Prism comes out on PC and Switch on the 26th of March and is a mysterious narrative adventure in which you play as a weary photographer stranded in an ethereal realm called the Dusklands with nothing but your old manual camera. Oh, and you're accompanied by a girl who's lost her memory, just to make things even more complicated. In this game, you'll wander through gorgeous landscapes, meet enigmatic spirits, and use photography to solve mysteries, uncover lore, and bond with the world around you. Opus Prism promises to be filled with quiet reflection and pack a surprising emotional kick, and I for one am intrigued to see how the story plans out. Farming Sweeper is a strange little game that mashes farm management together with classic Minesweeper style puzzle action. Sounds weird on paper, but I have a feeling this could be a welcome twist on the farming sim genre. The idea is that you're trying to grow your farming empire, but before you can plant anything or raise any animals, you'll need to clear the land of weeds and disease by solving Minesweeper type puzzles. Only once that's done do you get to harvest plants, make money and keep on expanding your farm. I can't see there being too much depth with this one, but it looks like a fun chill way to spend at least a few hours. Farming Sweeper is set to launch on PC on the 28th of March. Definitely one for fans of House Flipper or the ever-increasing choice of cleaning sims out there. Hozy is a cosy clean-up and interior design game in which you turn dusty, forgotten houses into warm, stylish homes. With no stress or timers to worry about, all you have to do is scrub floors, paint walls, and decorate each room exactly the way you want. You're dropped into an abandoned neighbourhood full of neglected spaces just waiting for you to breathe life back into them. Every small action, such as chucking out a smelly old sofa or meticulously arranging rugs, brings a tiny shot of dopamine for a cosily satisfying experience. The newest arrival in the Cooking Simulator franchise, Cooking Simulator 2 Better Together, comes out on PC on the 31st of March. You can play this cosy cooking game as a solo chef, or get a friend to play along with you, it's your choice. Starting with a humble restaurant setup, there are more than 200 ingredients to become familiar with, pro tools to master, and both classic and custom recipes ranging from simple snacks to gourmet masterpieces. There's career progression and even apartment customisation included, and in co-op mode with a friend, you can choose to share the workload or just give up on the grind altogether and just have a spectacular food fight instead. Apocalypse Factory comes out in early access on PC and Mac on the 31st of March. This game is a crazy mix of automation sim, strategy and tower defence, whereas one of the last survivors of the eponymous apocalypse, it's your job to keep humanity alive by building complicated factories and defending them against zombies. You start off in a bleak wasteland and are tasked with building production lines to mine resources, craft materials and power everything from wind generators to huge industrial machines. You'll explore dangerous terrain, research tech trees, build electrical grids and fend off relentless undead attacks that threaten to chew through your conveyor belts. The end goal of Apocalypse Factory is to finish building the escape arc and give humanity its last shot at survival, so no pressure. Skycraft is still showing on Steam as coming out on PC in early access in March, although there's no exact date given, so it remains to see if that'll be the case. This is an open world survival game in which, rather than forests and plains, you've got infinite floating islands in the sky to explore, build and survive on. Alone or with up to 9 friends, you'll start on a little island with nothing to your name, and you'll need to gather resources as you jump from island to island. You can build a base to protect yourself from storms and aerial threats, craft better gear and uncover mysteries scattered across the floating lands. Collect essence of the skies as you go and use it to boost your abilities and grow your island. The Wide Open Sky is running out of Catfish has got to be one of my favourite names for a game due out this year, in this case coming to PC on an unspecified day in March, we hope. This indie game is a bizarre, story-driven photography adventure that sees you cruising through a huge empty sky on the back of a giant flying catfish, so you know, just your average Friday. Your mum's been gone a while, the once busy sky has gone disconcertingly quiet, and it's up to you, your magic flute, and some computer mates to fill the sky with fascinating creatures once again. You'll fly around, transform clouds into wonderful animals, and document these with your trusty camera. This story-rich, whimsical game certainly has me intrigued. How about you? Are you thinking of downloading any of these games, or are there any others you think I've missed? Don't forget to let me know in the comments if so. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.